The colour of the hair, a lot has to do with genetics. My husband is white, and both his parents were white at 50. And my mother died at 51 with brown hair, and my father just passed at 92 with greying hair, but a lot of black. Now, there's my brother, then me, and 3 younger sisters, and none of us have grey hair, because from both sides of our family, there wasn't grey. Now, my father's sister, she died at 68 with brown hair, and at the funeral I saw my 3 cousins, her sons, that I haven't seen for a long time, and they're all grey. So they probably got that a little bit from the father's side. So Michael and I are interesting because we're both extremes, really. Both his parents white at 50, and my parents are not grey. But I also know that people have claimed to get the colour back in their hair by drinking a lot of green drinks. Now, what green drinks contain is a lot of minerals. And when you consider what we talked about this afternoon, that the mineral content of the soil is about 50% less what it was 50 years ago, that a lot of the foods today have less minerals in them. You see, in Australia, the soil is the plants are just put in year after year after year. What should happen is when a crop comes out of the ground, then the soil should be fed with rich compost, because every time a crop is in the ground, it's taking nutrients out. And if you don't replace the nutrients, then the next crop that's grown there is going to be nutrient deficient. So that makes sense, doesn't it? So really looking at agriculture is the only way to change the farming habits. And unfortunately, because there's big dollars made in big industry and growing lots of stuff and superphosphate, I don't know how that will ever turn around. But you can do the best you can. You can grow as much as you can, you can buy the best quality that you can, and you can have green drinks. So how do you have green drinks? Well, you can buy chlorophyll, you can buy green barley powder, you can buy wheatgrass powder, you can buy super greens. So basically taking that 3 times a day, making sure you have lots of greens in your daily salad will ensure you don't lose the minerals when you cook your greens. You only lose your minerals if you throw the water away that you cook them in. Now, in many shampoos today, there is a, there is a chemical, and it's called sodium lauryl sulfate. And sodium lauryl sulfate makes it foam, and it kills hair follicles. So it's important to buy shampoo that doesn't have sodium lauryl sulfate, because that certainly can contribute to hair loss. So that's the foaming agent in your shampoos. A great thing that you can do with your hair that will really nourish it and help it is about once a month just rub coconut oil into your scalp and also pull it through your hair and bind your hair up and leave it. And I do that, I try and do it once a month. That doesn't always happen once a month. And just bind it up and leave it there all day. And at the end of the day, shampoo it out. That's very nourishing for the scalp. What about dandruff? Dandruff can often happen when using shampoo with sodium lauryl sulfate. It can also happen when a person's on a high sugar diet, because that basically feeds the dandruff. So getting a better shampoo and doing a coconut oil rub or soak every month ideally, and also looking at your diet, because we are what we eat. And I have a book at home called Pure, White and Deadly, and the whole book is about sugar. And Dr. Yatkin, the author, he maintains that it should be banned. It is so dangerous. And we don't need to eat sugar because we've got honey and maple syrup. And you've got a sugar here on your islands, which is an excellent sugar. It's palm sugar or coconut sugar. It's just the crystallized nectar from the palm flower. So that is hair. It is a good idea not to dye your hair because most dyes have chemicals in them. And we've had guests come to our program that have had reactions to the chemical dyes. I think there is an Indian dye called henna. You're familiar with henna? That's made out of plant, and that's probably a little bit healthier.